Hello all, this is the second part of our chapter 2, land, soil, water and natural vegetation and wildlife. So first part we have completed. So if you did not watch first part, you can watch uh, the YouTube. So this is the second part. So let us continue from the what we call water. So we have dealt with till the soil. So this is the water. So water is a vital renewable natural resource. So renewable means it comes again and again. Yes or no? So 3/4 of the Earth's surface is covered the water only. Yes or no? That means the 70% of the Earth's surface is covered with the water. So it is therefore appropriate to called the water planet. So we call Earth as a blue planet. Yes or no? Why it looks blue? Why it looks blue? Because water looks blue from if you look it from the above sky. Okay, so that's why majority of the coverage of the water, nearly 70%. Okay, that's why we call it as a water planet. So it was in the primitive oceans that life began almost 3.5 billion years back. Okay, but even today the oceans cover almost 3/3 of the earth's surface. See here, even though the life began 3.5 billion years ago also, the water covers, excuse me, yeah, sorry for the small disturbance here. So even the life began nearly 3.5 billion years ago. Even today the ocean cover, okay, 2/3 of the earth's surface and support a rich variety of plants and animal life. Yes or no? So the ocean water is however saline and not fit for the human consumption. So what does it mean? So saline means the ocean water is salty because due to the deposition of the there are several factors. Okay, so due to that one, the ocean water is salty. Yes or no? So that's why it is not fit for the human consumption, or we cannot use it. So here fresh water accounts for only about 2.7%. So in this one, for example, the 70% of the water is there. So in that one only the 2.7% only fresh water is available. So in that one also nearly 70% of this occurs as ice sheets and glaciers. Glaciers means what we have learned, it is a large body of the ice. Yes or no? So it occurs as a ice sheets and glaciers in Antarctica, Greenland, and mountains regions. So these are the very these places are not accessible. Okay, so this way Antarctica and Greenland mountain regions and all, these are ice mountains. So due to their location, they are inaccessible. So here, that's why only 1% of the fresh water is available for fit for human use. We cannot use the fresh water which is available in the glaciers or ice sheets in the Antarctica or Greenland mountain regions. Okay, so that's why only 1% of the fresh water is available for the human use. How it is, let us see. So it is found as groundwater, as surface water, in rivers and lakes, and as water vapor in the atmosphere. Okay, so groundwater, surface water, rivers, lakes, and as well as water vapor in the atmosphere, right? So fresh water is therefore the most precious substance on the earth. Okay, because only due to the less availability. Yes, so water can neither be added or subtracted from the earth. This is true. Yes or no? We cannot take away water. Where you will take? Okay, so this you cannot take and you cannot add also. Where you will get the water? So let us see in the geographical terminology. So total volume remains constant. Since it cannot be subtracted or added, the total volume of the water remains constant, means same. So its abundance only seems to vary. So abundance means the like more and less. Yes or no? So there may be like more water, there may be less water. Yes, in some places like that. So there are some fact there why it is like that, because it is in constant motion. So cycling through the oceans, the air, the land, and back again. So this is simply to put like a through the water cycle is there, no? Okay, water cycle. What do you mean by water cycle? Just try comment in the YouTube. Previously, you have learned in the fourth lesson, right? So through the process of evaporation, precipitation, and runoff. Yes or no? So it will come back again through the process of precipitation and evaporation. Yes. So this is the like where the water drop is started, and it will come to the same place again and again. For example, there is a drop of water is there, it evaporates due to the heat, okay, and is precipitate and it condenses and precipitates uh, through rainfall or snowfall. Okay, again it comes to fall on the earth in the particular place where it started. So this is called a water cycle, right? So this, as you already know, what is that water cycle? Yes or no? So we have learned about what is water, what is a the importance of the fresh water and the water. So here humans huge amount of water not only for drinking and washing, but also in the process of production. What production? Hmm? So we production for the purpose of production also we use water. See, let us see, water for agriculture, okay, industries, hmm, generating electricity through reservoirs of dams are the other usages. Okay, agriculture we need a water, industries also we need a water. So last lesson, a resource, what is a resource, no, we have seen that how the hydroelectricity electricity is created, generated. Yes or no? So we hydro means what is that? Water only. So these are the like agriculture and industries and the generating electricity are the some of the uses of the water. Okay, so those ways we use the water. So increasing population, rising demands for food and cash crops, okay, increasing urbanization and rising standards of living are the major factors leading to shortage in supply of the fresh water, either due to drying of a water sources or water pollution. Yes, this is also one of the thing we have to understand. So what is this? What are the major factors causing shortage of supply of the water? So rising population, increasing in the cash crops, okay, and excessive use of water. So changing the standards of livelihoods. So these are some of the reasons that what we call these are responsible for the shortage of the water. Okay. Here we can last point we can also add what is drying. So drying how the water how the water dries quickly because heating. So due to the climate change, due to the carbon dioxide, due to the excessive gases we are using, no, so no, what we call the gases like carbon gases we are using on the earth, that is called global warming. The when the earth heats, automatically the water also evaporates. Okay, and another thing is that the pollution. So why it is for pollution means it is also one kind of contamination of the water. So these are the some factors, right? Yes, next, problems of water availability. So this is a major issue right now. So you can, for example, when you look at the newspapers, we see that by 2025, so we will be very much like there are many places which lack water supply. So by 2050, the world will be more affected by the water shortage like that. So UNO reports and the Niti Aayog reports by India in India. Okay, we see in the newspapers, right? See, let us see what are the availability, what are the problems of water availability. Okay, so water is there is a water scarcity is in many parts of the many regions of the world. Yes or no? For example, most of Africa, yes, West Asia, South Asia, and parts of Western USA. Okay, Northwest Mexico, parts of South America, and entire Australia are facing what is that, a shortage in fresh water supply. Yes or no? So another thing is countries located in the climatic zones most susceptible to droughts. Okay, so climatic zones means the severe climatic conditions like hot or cold like that. So they face great problems of water scarcity. So that's why water shortage may be a consequence of variation in the seasonal or annual precipitation. See here. So climatic zones, there is a problem. Yes, climatic severe climatic zones means what happens, there is a variation in the climate, there is no continuation in the precipitation, there is less precipitation, for example desert areas like that in Africa. Yes or no? That's why a seasonal or annual s- variation in the seasonal or annual precipitation or the scarcity is caused by the exploitation and contamination of the water sources. See, not only the climate is responsible for that, so over exploitation and the contamination means, for example, um, just look at the present example like Ganga river. Yes or no? River Ganges. So it is it is more polluted. So we have government has an actual plan to clean the Ganga and make it clean. So, from decades onwards, but nothing, no progress is made, means no successful result we got till now. Because near the Ganga river, what happens, there are many industries located there. They are what we call sending, they are throwing the all the chemicals into the river, so that the water is contaminated or the polluted. So this is the major issue in the India and the all parts of the world. Yes or no? So yes, yes. So conservation of the water resources. So how to save our water resources here? So access to clean and adequate fresh water is a major problem facing all over the world today. Yes or no? The world is facing to get the fresh water, right? Okay, so that's why steps has to be taken to conserve this dwindling resource. Dwindling means what is that? Decreasing resource. Okay, so even though water is a renewable resource, its overuse and pollution make it unfit for use. So as I told you that water is a renewable resource, even though if you use over if excessively, okay, and if you pollute the water, it is not fit for the human consumption, right? So discharge of untreated or partly treated sewage, agricultural chemicals, and industrial effluents in water bodies are major contaminants. So here the partly treated as wastewater, agricultural chemicals, industrial effluents like wastewater and all. So industrial waste, these all are the major contaminants of the uh, oh, what is this water bodies. Okay, so yes, so so they pollute water with nitrates, metals, and pesticides. Yes or no? So that's why we have to be very careful, very cautious while with the industries and the treating wastewater. Okay, so thus we can make we can what we call conserve the water from getting polluted. So we have learned that the effluents of industrial effluents and this wastewater and all, these are the main causes for the contamination of the water, right? So most of the chemicals, okay, are non-biodegradable. So what does it mean? Just comment in the WhatsApp or the YouTube. And reach human bodies through the water. So water pollution can be controlled by treating these effluents suitably before releasing them into water bodies. Yes or no? So you have to tell the meaning or the definition of non-biodegradable. What is that? Okay, please comment. Yes, so this is very interesting fact. Okay, so rainwater harvesting. Uh, Let me tell one my story. When I am writing for this KVS exam, I got this question: which state is known for a rooftop rainwater harvesting? Okay, so the same question I am asking you that. So which is the state that harvests rainwater through rooftops? Okay, you have to tell me the state name. So yes, anyways, please comment in the WhatsApp or the YouTube. Okay, so what is this here? Rainwater harvesting is the process of collecting of rainwater from the rooftops and directing it to an appropriate location where it is stored for the future use. Yes or no? So on an average, one spell of the rain for 2 hours is enough to save the 8,000 liters of the water. This is very interesting fact, right? So please comment about the question that I asked. Yes. So in addition to that, how to conserve the water, okay, that we are learning. So one is rainwater harvesting, a rooftop mechanism that we have learned. So this is another thing that forest and other vegetation cover, okay, slow the surface runoff. So what is the surface runoff? For example, when the rainfall occurs, when the water falls on the earth, so it should stay, and it should, if it stays means it should go into the earth. So instead of that, if the if the water keep on running on the earth surface, so that is called a surface runoff. So when the water is keep on running, there is no use. Yes or no? So if the when the surface runoff stops, only we can have the groundwater, sufficient groundwater levels. So what is that? The forest and like other vegetation cover slow the surface runoff. Okay, and replenish underground water. Replenish means fill again. Okay, underground water. So next one, water harvesting is another method to save the surface runoff. So I told you what is surface runoff here. So water harvesting also one of the method to save the surface runoff. So the canals used for irrigation field should be properly linked to minimize losses by water seepage. Okay, losses by the uh, water seepage means here what is that? The leakage. Okay, so sprinklers and effectively irrigate the area by checking water losses through seepage and evaporation. So this is also, and dry air regions, like means dry regions means very like arid land like that. Dry regions with high rates of evaporation, drip or trickle irrigation is very useful. So here we often hear in the news drip irrigation. Drip irrigation means what is that? So we control the flow of the water. So for example, one plant is there. Example I'm saying. So simply we pour the water. Instead of that, we pour the water how much the plant needs. Okay, so we control in that way we control the flow of the water. We don't waste the water. Yes. So for example, a plant needs some amount of water, we that amount only we put at the pour. Okay, that is done to the drip irrigation. Drip mean like small pipes will be there, so the water will be sprinkled on the plants. Okay, this is called drip irrigation. So that's why the valuable water resource can therefore be conserved by adopting these means of irrigation. So due to the drip irrigation, what is the valuable water resource can be, what is that, conserved? Yes or no? So there are many methods: water harvesting, drip irrigation, and rooftop harvesting of the rainwater. So these are the methods, some of the methods where which through which we can conserve the water. Okay. Yes, the next thing is, and very important one, the natural vegetation and wildlife. Okay, it exists only in the narrow zone of contact between the, what are the spheres? Lithosphere, hydrosphere, and the atmosphere, that we call as a biosphere. Yes or no? So this is the contact with the biosphere is narrow zone on the land surface. Yes or no? So in the biosphere, living beings are interrelated and interdependent for their on each other for their survival. Yes, this life supporting system is known as the ecosystem. Okay, so vegetation and wildlife are valuable resources. How it is like that, we see. First we see about the vegetation. For example, vegetation means plants. Okay, plants what we provide us the timber, give shelter to animals. Okay, produce oxygen we breathe, and protects soils. Okay, so why soils are important? They are important for the growing crops. Okay, and act as a shelter belts, help in, okay, storage of underground water. So the plants also help in storage of underground water, groundwater, and give us fruits, nuts, latex, and this what we call turpentine, oil, gum, medicinal plants, and also the paper, so that you use for your books and notebooks. So there are enormous uses of the plants. So not only this one, you can add more uses also. Okay. Yes, I did not include the title. Okay, anyways, so the wildlife includes animals, okay, birds, insects, and as well as the aquatic life forms. Aquatic means like the water livestock, like fishes and all. Okay, so they provide us milk, meat, hides like skin and wool. Okay, so insects like bees provide us honey and help in pollination of flowers, and have an important role to play as decomposers in the ecosystem. So pollination of the flowers means you learn in the science class, right? So these all things, decomposers are decomposers in the ecosystem. So how they useful? Okay, you have learned in the must be learned in the science class. So let us see, the birds feed on insects and act as a decomposers as well. These birds also act as a decomposers. And vulture, so due to its ability to feed on dead livestock, is a scavenger and considered as a vital cleaner of the environment. Okay, what is that? Vulture. So animals, big or small, all are integral to maintaining the balance in the ecosystem. Yes, so this is the natural vegetation and the wildlife. So this is very well known to you. Okay, already you have learned in the sixth, last class, last year in the sixth lesson. So what is this? The distribution of the natural vegetation. So let us see what happens. So the growth of the vegetation depends on primarily on the two factors. So what is the temperature and the moisture? Yes or no? So the major vegetation types of the world are grouped as forests, okay, grassland, scrubs, and the tundra. Yes. So in areas of heavy rainfall, huge trees may thrive. Yes or no? And forests are thus associated with areas having abundant rainwater supply. Yes, as the amount of moisture decreases, the size of the trees and their density reduce. Okay, short stunted trees and grasses grow in the regions of moderate rainfall, forming the what we call grasslands of the world. Like for example, in the tropical regions we have a forest, and temperate regions we have a grasslands, like that. Yes or no? So yes, thorny shrubs and scrubs grow in dry areas of low rainfall. So like desert areas, okay, like Sahara, like Rajasthan. So these areas, these thorny shrubs and scrubs. Okay, so in such areas, plants have deep roots and leaves with what we thorny and waxy surface, reduce loss of moisture through the transpiration. So we have seen that there are some plants which have deep roots which can store the water. Okay, we have learned in the last year. So in the same way, to how it is possible to do the transpiration, right? So then next come to the tundra vegetation. So tundra means it is near polar regions. Okay, so tundra vegetation of cold polar regions comprise of mosses lichens. So these are the trees. Some small trees are found in this particular region. What region? Tundra region. Yes. Continuation to that. Forests are broadly classified as evergreen and deciduous, depending on when they shed their leaves. Yes or no? So what is the evergreen forest means, you know, and what is the deciduous forest? Just recall and comment in the YouTube. Okay, so evergreen forests do not shed their leaves. Okay, simultaneously in any season of the year. Yes or no? So deciduous forests shed their leaves in a particular season only. Yes or no? To conserve loss of moisture through the transpiration. Okay, and both type of forests are further classified as tropical or the temperate based on their location in different latitudes. Yes or no? The tropical forests and temperate forests. Yes. So this is about the forest, right? And today there are many more people in the world than there were 2 centuries back. Yes or no? So the population is rapidly growing. To feed the growing number of population, what we did, we have cleared the forest. Okay, to grow the crops. Yes or no? So forest cover also over the world is vanishing rapidly, means decreasing. So that's why there is an urgent need to conserve these valuable resources. Yes. So let us see how to conserve it. Conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife. See how to conserve this. Forests are our wealth. Yes or no? So because of the forest, what we can get, we have learned in the previous slides. So plants give shelter to the animals, and together they maintain the ecosystem. Right. So changes in the climate and human interference can cause the loss of natural habitats for the plants and the animals. So due to the change in the climate and the human activities, it may cause the loss of human natural habitat, means the home grounds for the plants and the animals. Okay, many species have become vulnerable or endangered, and some are on the verge of extinction. So that means what? So the vulnerable and endangered means they are high risk of facing extinction. Okay, see, at the same time, deforestation, soil erosion, constructional activities, okay, forest fires, tsunami, and landslides are some of the human and natural activities which accelerate the process of extinction of these what we call resources. Okay, and along with this, one of the major concern with the wildlife is that is the poaching. That means what is that? Killing illegally animals. Okay, which result in a sharp decline in the what we call number of particular species. For example, the animals are poached for collection of illegal trade of hides, skin, nails, teeth, and horns, as well as feathers. Okay, so some of these animals are tiger, lion, elephant, deer, black buck, hmm, and crocodile, rhinoceros, and snow leopard, ostrich, and peacock. So these can be conserved by increasing the awareness. So see, poaching means what? The illegal, because of the because of illegal trading, the animals are getting extended. Okay, extension. So what we have to do is we have to increase the awareness and increase the surveillance so that the animals cannot be poached or the illegally killed. Okay. Yes. So this is continuation to the same, and it's no more. What is the first? The important thing is forest fire is a threat to the entire region of flora and fauna. So what is fauna and what is flora? You know, flora means plant and fauna means animals kingdom. Okay, so it occurs mainly due to three reasons. Let us see what are the reasons. First of all is natural fire due to lightning, etc. Okay, so then fire due to heat generated in the litter due to careless of people. So the scrap is there, no, like when the heat is generated there, so what happens, the fire occurs. Okay, then the fire purposely caused by local inhabitants, okay, mischief makers, okay, miscreants, etc. So these are the reasons where how the forest fire occurs. Okay, so those are the reason for the forest fires. So some control measures to prevent the forest fires. What we will do? Let us see. The first one is prevention of fires through the education. Okay, we have to educate the people about the forest fires and the causes. And the second thing is prompt detection. Prompt means is instant detection of the fires through well coordinated network of observation points, efficient ground patrolling and communication network. So this is the one thing. So these are the some regions that we can what we call prevent the forest fires. Okay, so national parks, okay, wildlife sanctuaries, sanctuaries and biosphere reserves are made to protect our natural vegetation and wildlife, okay, from by the government. Okay, conservation of creeks means a small stream of water. Okay, lakes and wetland means saturated with the water. Land is saturated with water. Okay, is necessary to save the precious resources from depletion. Okay, depletion means decreasing. Okay, there is a balance in the environment if the relative number of species is not disturbed. Yes or no? This is true. And human activities in several parts of the world have disturbed the natural habitats of many species. Yes or no? So due to its due to indiscriminate killings, several birds and animals have either become extinction or on the verge of extinction. Yes. So yes. So lastly, awareness programs like social forestry and Vana Mahotsava. Okay, what is this Vana Mahotsava and social forestry? Please comment in the WhatsApp or the YouTube. Should be encouraged at the regional and the community levels. Okay, school children should be encouraged to what we call encouraged to bird watch and visit nature camps so that they appreciate the habitat of varied species. Yes or no? So and many countries have passed laws against the trade as well as killing of birds and animals. Okay, in India, killing lion, tiger, deer, great Indian bustard, and peacock is illegal. Okay, so this you must understand this. So, an international convention CITES has been established to list several species uh, of animals and birds in which trade and killing is prohibited. Okay, so conservation of plants and animals is an ethical duty of every citizen. This is the last and ending point. So what is that? So let us see. So here we need a we need to have awareness. Yes or no? Awareness about social forestry. We need to bring awareness through the programs like social forestry and Vana Mahotsava and visit to the nature camps and all. So and we should know the laws which are passed by the various countries, including India. So and this is the last thing. What is the international convention which is established? Okay, wow, for the purpose of what are the species prohibited for the trade and killing, and the lastly, the conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife is an ethical duty of every person, other citizen of the world. Okay, so ethical duty means what is that? You nobody will tell you that you should not do, you should do something like that. You must have some ethics to do it. Yes or no? So with that note, we come to the end of the lesson. I hope you got um, clarity on this two parts. Part one, which was done in the previous video, and this is part two. And if you have any feedback and any suggestions, or if you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you so much.